Hello students. Today we're going to look at section 9.2 in algebra, and that is multiplying polynomials. Yesterday we added and subtracted them. Today we're going to multiply them. And it's important that we remember all of our exponent rules from last chapter because they're going to all come into play when we multiply polynomials. The first thing I have is multiplying a monomial by a polynomial. So I have my monomial 3x squared, and I have my polynomial 2x cubed minus x squared plus 4x minus 3. And I need to multiply this 3x squared, which is exactly the same thing as the distributive property. So we're going to take 3x squared and multiply it by all four terms in our polynomial. So the first thing is 3x squared times 2x cubed. I need to multiply the coefficients first, and 3 times 2 is 6. And then x squared times x cubed is x to the fifth. Because I'm multiplying same base, I add the exponents. And now we have 3x squared times negative x squared. So 3 times negative 1 is negative 3. And then x squared times x squared is x to the fourth. And then 3x squared times positive 4x. 3 times 4 is positive 12. And x squared times x is x cubed. And then 3x squared times negative 3 would be 3 times negative 3 is negative 9. And then x squared, because there's no variable in the negative 3. And that is my solution. 6x to the fifth minus 3x to the fourth plus 12x cubed minus 9x squared. The next thing we're going to look at is multiplying a polynomial by a polynomial. So I have a trinomial times a binomial. A squared plus 3a minus 4 times the quantity of 2a plus 3. Now in this case, what I'm going to have to do is multiply every term in the trinomial by every term in the binomial. And I'm going to caution you to do this in a very organized fashion. That is, I'm going to take a squared and multiply it by every term in the binomial, then 3a times every term, then negative 4 times every term. So we'll start a squared times 2a is 2a cubed. And then a squared times 3 is positive 3a squared. And now I'm done with the a squared, so I can cross that out. And I'm going to do the 3a times everything in the binomial. 3a times 2a is positive 6a squared, because 3 times 2 is 6, and a times a is a squared. And then 3a times 3 is plus 9a, so I'm going to cross that one out. And now I need negative 4 times 2a, which is negative 8a, and negative 4 times 3 is negative 12. So at this point I have multiplied everything in the trinomial by everything in the binomial. Now I need to combine like terms. And the cool thing is, if you do it the way I did, your like terms end up next to each other. So I have 2a cubed, and then 3a squared plus 6a squared is plus 9a squared. Because remember, we're adding now, and so we're adding the coefficients because a squared and a squared are the same. And 9a minus 8a is just plus a minus 12. So 2a cubed plus 9a squared plus a minus 12 is my final solution. So we're going to do one more example of this kind just because it's kind of new and it's a little involved. So we'll do 2x squared minus x minus 2 times the quantity of 3x minus 1. So I start with 2x squared times everything in the binomial. 2x squared times 3x would be 6x cubed, because 2 times 3 is 6. X squared times x is x cubed. And then 2x squared times negative 1 is just negative 2x squared. Done with that one. Now I've got negative x times negative 3x. Negative 1 times 3 is negative 3. X times x is x squared. And then negative x times negative 1 would be positive x, because negative times negative is positive. Done with that one. Now negative 2 times 3x is negative 6x, and negative 2 times negative 1 is positive 3. Now I need to combine like terms. 6x cubed stays because there's no other x cubes. Negative 2x squared minus 3x squared is negative 5x squared. And then x minus 6x, this is 1x minus 6x, and 1 minus 6 is negative 5x plus 3. Again, multiply every term from each polynomial by every term in the other polynomial, and then combine like terms. The last part of this section is multiplying a binomial by a binomial. Now, you can do it exactly the same as what we have been doing with the multiplying a polynomial by a polynomial, but with binomial, they've come up with this shortcut called FOIL. And FOIL is another way that you can use just to make sure you get your answer correct. Okay? F stands for the firsts, O stands for the outsides, I stands for the insides, L stands for lasts. What does that mean? This, the 4a and the a are the first term in each set. That's where first comes from. The outside terms, which ones are farthest outside of the entire problem? That would be 4a and 2. Insides, which ones are closest inside? That'd be the 3 and the a. And lasts, which are the lasts in each of their binomials? That would be the 3 and the 2. Now you're thinking, Mr. Cohens, that's exactly the same as what we've been doing. You're exactly right, but they came up with this nice little FOIL thing. So you might want to learn FOIL because you'll be using FOIL in Algebra 1 and Algebra 2 and Geometry and Pre-Cal and Calculus and Trigonometry. You see where I'm going with this? So let's learn it. So first, 4a times a is 4a squared. Lasts, 4a times 2 is plus 8a. Insides, you know I said lasts and I was supposed to be outsides, so this was outsides, 4a times 2, my bad. Insides, 3 times a is plus 3a. And now lasts, 3 times 2 is 6. Firsts, outsides, insides, lasts, and combine like terms. Notice my like terms are right there in the middle. That's important for later. 4a squared plus 11a plus 6. The last sample problem we're doing for FOIL is 4b minus 5 times the quantity of b minus 2. So we're going to start with our firsts. 4b times b. 4 times 1 is 4. B times b is b squared. And then 4b times negative 2, because those are our outsides, would be negative 8b. Insides, negative 5 times b is negative 5b. And lasts, negative 5 times negative 2 is positive 10. Again, my like terms are right there in the middle. So 4b squared minus 13b plus 10. Because negative 8b minus 5b is the same as negative 8b plus negative 5b, which is negative 13b. 4b squared minus 13b plus 10. Your practice problems for today come from each of the 3 sections that we talked about. The first one is negative 5a cubed times the quantity of 4a to the 4th minus 3a plus 1. Letter B is 3x plus 4 times the quantity of 2x squared minus 3x minus 5, multiplying a polynomial by a polynomial. And then the last one is C, which would be the FOIL method, 2 binomials multiplying 2m minus 1 times the quantity of 3m plus 6. Take a picture of those practice problems when you're finished. I would like to see your work on these, so don't just take a picture of the answers, but take a pictures where you did it and then added all the like terms. I want to see all of that. Submit it through Edmodo before class so I can see how well you did.